Kia ko tahi ai mātou I runga te whakaaro ko tai. Ko hanga mātou e koe hei toto ko tai. I raro I tēnei whakaaro ko tai. God of the Southern Sea and of these islands, of Māori and Pākehā, and all who dwell in our land, Aotearoa. We give you thanks and praise for our country and for what we have achieved together. Increase our trust in one another, strengthen our quest for justice, and bring us to unity and common purpose. You have made us of one blood, make us now of one mind. Amen. Nō reira, e haere tonu ngā mihi ki a tātou e hui nei, raru te maru o tēnei whare o tātou. Nō reira, ko te mihi tuatahi, ki tō tātou nei whare, te papa o Tongarewa, e tū nei. Te whare e tiaki nei ngā taonga katoa o tātou te ui whānui o Aotearoa. A huri nō ki ngā kaimahi, I mahi tia nei, kia roti te whare nei. Ki a koe harapata, e haere tonu ngā mihi ki a koe, me o kaimahi e tiaki nei ngā taonga tapu o tātou. Tuarua e mihi atu ki a koe e te rangatira, Ngāti Toa. E whakamahana nei te meki te pai tapu o tēnei whare o tātou. Ko koutou me ki rātau e mau nei te mana whenua, mō tātou katoa, ngā taure here e noho mai nei I Poniki. Nō reire ko tēnei te mihi atu ki a koe, ki tō iwi, a huri nō ki a tātou e hui nei. I rungi tengo te matua, te tama, me te wairua tapu. Amen. Amen.
Good morning and welcome. I'm just going to ask the panel if they'd like to join us up here. And please, anybody else, come and take a seat. We're just setting up a couple of things with our media colleagues, so we'll just have a little moment while we do that. I'm just going to have a few minutes while some people are arriving. Kia ora and welcome. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Suzanne Stevenson and I'm here for the Flag Consideration Project. I'd also like to welcome here today Hannah Maguire, who's here on my right. She's actually going to interpret deaf language for us today, English into New Zealand Sign Language. For those of you who are not aware, it's New Zealand Sign Language Week this week, and we encourage you to support our deaf community, get involved in lots of events that they have happening around the country this week, and learn some sign language. And I'd like to say hi to Hannah. Before we start, just a couple of little health and safety things. In the very unlikely event of an emergency or an earthquake, please remember your rules of drop, cover and hold, obviously in that type of emergency. The exit is out the main doors, and obviously with all safety precautions in mind, make sure it's safe before you actually leave. The format of today is our chair of the Flag Consideration Panel, Emeritus Professor John Burrows, is going to give us a short presentation. And then we will break. We're going to show you a couple of things in the break. And the panel are here today and they'll be doing various interviews with our media colleagues that we have requested. You're welcome to stay. We have a lot of materials for you here to stay, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. John, would you like to join me on stage? Please welcome John Burrows.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Thanks very much for coming. Now today the formal process for New Zealanders considering its national flag begins. Very exciting day. And on behalf of the Flag Consideration Panel, it's my pleasure to take you through how we're going to do it. But meet the panel first. Nikki Bell, Peter Chin, Judy Christie, Rod Drury, Beatrice Famuina, the Deputy Chair Kate de Goldie, Rhys Jones, Stephen Jones, Sir Brian Lahore, Malcolm Mulholland and Hannah O'Regan. Now, the first important point is that as a panel, we are independent from government. And that's been made very clear to us, and we are running the process. It's not our job to try and influence people or tell people how to vote. Our role is to provide information about the history of the flag, issues you can consider, and to facilitate public discussion. So we're a facilitative body. Now, in this process, everybody can have a view, and I'm sure everybody will have one. And it's up to the voters to decide how they're going to vote. The people will decide, and there's no presumption in favour of change. So this is democracy in action. Well, we've designed a program that gives people opportunities to be involved, and I'd just like to tell you how it's going to work. For a start, it's a really important occurrence, this. This is the first time in New Zealand history that people have ever had an official opportunity to discuss their flag, and not just that, but vote on it and actually decide what their flag should be. This has never happened before, so this is history making. Flags are or should be things that inspire and motivate us. That's what they are. So to start the discussion going, what we want people to think about is what to you is really special about New Zealand. What's important to you about this country we live in? And we're using a slogan to stand for that. We're saying, what do we stand for? So in the end, this is all about national identity. And as people talk about this, give us their ideas, themes we think will start to emerge, key themes. They will help people ask the question, how can our flag represent this? And as a panel, in our job, it'll inform us as well. So that's going to be our starting point. And here's how it's going to work. Between now and July the 16th, people can either go online or do it by mail. And online, the website is standfor.co.nz. And just tell New Zealand what you stand for. What's really special to you about this country that we live in? If you're not comfortable on the internet, you can do it by post. And there's going to be a mail drop soon in everybody's mailbox of a card which they can fill in and post back to us. And in post shops around the country, there'll be cards you can pick up and information pamphlets as well. So these will help us know what New Zealand's thinking. And on the website, you'll be able to see a word cloud. And as key themes start to emerge, they'll emerge through the cloud and they'll become quite clear. So the important thoughts will start to emerge. We want schools to get involved in this, and we've prepared, with the help of the education people, a school resource kit, and that's on the website too. And we'd love to see schools have their own discussions about this, even perhaps mirror our process, have little sort of mini referenda, and school children and everybody else are welcome to put in flag designs. So we hope that young people who will be with the flag far longer than we will be able to have their say in their way as well. We'd also like the community to hold meetings of its own, so clubs, community groups and so on. If they can hold meetings and discussions and just get discussion going there, that's fine. And there's a resource kit for them as well, what we call a community resource kit to facilitate that. And that's on the website, standfor.co.nz as well. We're going to have a mobile presence. There will be vans going around the country, and I think there's one outside with some pictures on it. But we'll be travelling from the south of the country to the far north, and there will be public workshops and hui, which panel members will attend. Now, we'd obviously like to go to as many places as possible, but needs must, we're going to as many as resources will allow, as many as we possibly can, and that's a pretty fair number. But obviously there'll be small remote areas that perhaps won't be visited by the roadshow, but there's other ways they can get involved too. But details of the roadshow program, that's on flag.co.nz, so that's on the website as well. Now, one thing we really want is for people to send us ideas for designs for a possible alternative flag. And that's going to be one of our big jobs. But people can do that by post if they want to. They can upload a design online at flag.government.nz. And we hope we get lots of these. I gather even before the starter's gun is gone, there's been quite a few come in. So we do expect a very large number of these. There are flag design guidelines you have to comply with, and they're on the website. And there's also terms and conditions, because you see, nothing is simple. There's copyright issues, or there's trademark issues, and we have to do due diligence to make sure that these are not infringing anybody's rights. So you just have to sign up to those when you send your flag in. But we want as many flag designs as possible, remembering that lovely question, what do we stand for, and what's our national identity, and how can a flag actually represent that? Now, as I've said, this is a unique and historic occasion, and we want to mark it permanently in some way. So this is what's going to happen. Everybody who gives us an idea, of what they stand for idea, can have their names etched on a memorial flagpole. And I don't mean with an engraver's pen or anything, but there's a way you can do it. So actually etch the names on stainless steel, and there will be a flagpole built with all those names, and that will be in the vicinity of Te Papa. It's going to be called Te Pou Haringa Tangata, and that literally means the post that binds us together. Well, Te Pou Haringa Tangata will be erected, I say, here at Te Papa, and there is a sample to show you. We're still exploring exactly where it will go, but it could be on the grass area over here by Te Papa, near where they hold the weekend markets. Well, getting towards the end of the process now, out of all the flag designs we receive, we have the difficult and exacting task of picking the best 4. And we have to report those to government late August, early September. And I'm sure you know the process after that. The government is proposing to hold 2 referendums. The first will be in November, and the public will vote on which of the 4 alternative flags is the one they want best. So one choice will emerge from that. There's then going to be a second referendum in March next year, and the preferred alternative flag, the winner of the last referendum, if you like, will then be run off against the current New Zealand flag. And the virtue of that is that when people vote for change, if they do, they know exactly what's going to replace the present flag if that's the way they want to go. And if they don't want change, of course they will vote no. But the advice we're giving is, even if you don't want the flag to change, still vote in the first referendum, because if you don't, you've lost your chance. Should the groundswell be in favour of change, you've lost your chance of getting your favourite alternative flag. If there is change, and there is no presumption in favour or against it, but if there is change, that would come into effect within 6 months after the second referendum, and the legislation will be amended to provide that the new flag would be New Zealand's official flag. There's an Act of 1981, and it prescribes when that flag has to be flown on government buildings and certain official commemorative days. But outside those rules, people can continue to fly any flag they like. There's nothing to stop me flying off my own building any flag I want to. So people who like the old New Zealand flag, the present one, if there is change, can still use it privately. But officially, if there is change, it would then be the new flag. Well, that's all the information I have, but please stay, look around. There's material we have for you out there. Some of you will have that already. There's also a video of the history of the flag that's going to be running, so have a look at that. But the panel and I look forward very much to fulfilling the expectations you've got of us. We've got a responsibility to all New Zealanders and we take that very seriously indeed, I promise you. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you. As John and the panel has said, we've got some material here to show you. We're going to pull back the screen and you'll be able to see a couple of things. You'll be able to see a sample of the flagpole that we've had done for you for today. And you'll also be able to go in and see stand4.co.nz and our websites will be going live, so you can have a look at flag.gov.nz as well. So thank you to the panel. They're going to break now and we will do some interviews for our media colleagues as they would like. By all means, we can use this area, just let us know. And while we're doing that, for the rest of you as an audience, please watch the TVC that we have done. This television commercial will be starting tonight. And we also have a history of the New Zealand flag, which I know all of us have actually found very interesting, and I think you will too. So again, thank you to all of you today.
Before our country decides which flag we'll stand for, we want to know what you stand for. Have your say at stand4.co.nz or see the postcard in your mailbox or local post shop. Your names and contributions will build our nation's flagpole, and when New Zealand decides its flag, it'll fly there. So, what do we stand for, New Zealand? Tell us at stand4.co.nz.